Good morning. We're still here at Biddenden on day 2 of the Biddenden Tractorfest and Country Fair. We're here at the moment with Steve Andrews, who's in the woodcarver's corner, and we've been seeing you carving this amazing piece over here.
Thank you.
And been admiring all the other wonderful pieces you've got around here.
Thank you.
So have you been doing this for long?
Yeah, I've been carving for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only 6 years?
Yes,
only 6
I have
years.
an artistic background.
All right.
But only with the chainsaw for 6 years. Yeah.
Wow. How difficult is it then to go from art to chainsaw art? Can I just shunt you that way a fraction, because I feel I'm just on the edge of the thing. Mind the little kids all around. This is really
Mind the
exciting.
art.
We watched you carving away and the sawdust going everywhere.
Yes.
So what's the transition?
Buy a chainsaw and get busy.
Just do it.
Yeah, it was a random transition for me. I went from working with children with additional needs to chainsaw carving overnight almost. It was just, I went to a music festival and saw a fella carving mushrooms, and my inspiration was on the way home. I thought, I'm going to buy a chainsaw and do that now.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes, but you know, I have got an artistic background, so it's in me to create, basically.
Do you pre-plan what you're going to carve out of a piece?
If there's a commission, obviously, if somebody's got something in mind, it needs to happen that way. But it's nice just to be able to let go sometimes and see where the bit of wood takes you.
Yeah, I was going to say, because sometimes, I mean, I've studied art myself, so so sometimes it's just the piece just comes out of itself, doesn't it?
Absolutely, just from the lines that you start with, and then your imagination kicks in.
Yeah, and the tactileness comes out.
Absolutely, yeah. I leave a lot to the imagination.
Fantastic. You know, there's marvellous pieces.
Thank you.
What wood do you use?
All sorts.
Oh right,
okay. I prefer hardwood for the longevity of the sculpture, but you know, softwood's easier to carve, I suppose, less sharpening to do.
So you get commissions,
yes,
and you do stuff off your own for your own interest?
It's mainly commissions.
Oh, okay.
But I occasionally get time to do one for myself.
So where would be a typical place that we might catch your art?
Parks, Leeds Castle, big parks, people's gardens who have had a tree chopped down, leave the stump behind and get me to come and carve the stump.
Oh really?
Yes.
It's funny because we're in Biddenden and we went and had a walk around the Millennium Field here, and they've got some carvings where they took down a couple of old oak trees that were rotting, and one was the remains of the tree, and somebody, don't know who, had carved out this incredible thing from the remains of the tree.
Exactly.
That's the sort of thing.
That's the work that I like. Yeah. I don't know if that was me. It doesn't ring a bell, but there's quite a few carvers around. So.
Well, one of the pieces was particularly interesting because, I mean, I think it'd been intended for a particular thing to be carved out of it, but because the actual, cause it was a tall stump left, but because it was actually quite rotten, they changed the design in the process.
Absolutely, that has to happen
sometimes.
Fantastic. The one I did at Leeds Castle was a big dragon. It was meant to be in the centre of the tree, but the centre was rotten, so I had to redesign the dragon to go around the tree. You know, that's just the nature of carving. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to find inside the wood. But
you know what? I think that sounds like it was made even more interesting. Not that the original idea wasn't, but
no, but the wood has a say. You know, and nature and the universe provides that direction sometimes, so whether you want it or not.
Is the wood, is it green wood or has it seasoned?
Green wood is again easier to carve. Seasoned wood is less likely to split after it's carved, but it's hard to find big seasoned wood.
Right.
You have to. I treat it with preservative and a sealant to stop the wood drying too fast and splitting. That's the plan.
Doesn't always work.
No,
the general idea.
Yes, that's the craft. You know, the idea behind it is the slow drying process. So if it is green wood, you really coat it heavily in a sealant and hope, you know, that it don't leave it anywhere really hot for a while.
Yes.
You know, so that's the plan, and then hopefully they dry it in that shape without cracking too much.
Right.
Yeah. Fantastic.
How interesting. So when you obviously enjoy performing as well, or showing off your work to a certain degree. Okay. Maybe not so.
I push myself to perform. Yeah, it's not always, you know, what I feel most comfortable doing, but it's good to get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it gives a chance, a show like this, it gives a chance for people to actually appreciate how it comes about. Because often
Absolutely.
you'll see a piece, we've got pieces immediately behind you here, which is actually, it looks like a monk sitting on a chair.
It is kind of, it's themed, but it's a monk theme, but it's more modern.
Right.
It's a guy in a hoodie.
Oh, okay, it's a guy in a hoodie. I
Yes.
only had a brief... But, you know, it's intricate, and you can so easily pass something like that and just think, oh, that's something. But when you see the intricacy and the time...
Yes, there's a connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to get out, and people will then connect to the art form, you know, and like you say, get to see how it's made,
Yeah.
which is great. Yeah.
You're working with a chainsaw, which is loud, and obviously you've got ear defenders.
Yeah.
Is that a risk for damaging your ears and stuff?
Not at all, not with the ear defenders on. Obviously you need them on.
Yeah, of
quite
course.
often I'm listening to the radio.
What, through them?
Inside the ear defenders.
Oh, right.
I'll have some
Okay.
music
You
on
can
or
be
listening
well
to
away.
the radio, and you don't have to have it particularly loud. So I get in my own little place, and
Oh, fantastic.
you forget that you're using a chainsaw. I can't really hear it.
So
So
now
it's
you,
great.
you go under the name Tribal Animal.
Yes.
Also here is another gentleman, Les. Is
Les Langley. Yes.
Les Langley. What did you call him earlier? The whiz with the...
Chainsaw Wizard. That's
Chainsaw-
how he. Yeah, that's his business.
That's his business.
Yes, yes.
So it's fantastic. It's great to see. And what's interesting here is it's attracting a lot of people to come. There's all
Yes.
sorts of weird things that you've got here
Good.
going on.
Yes.
Different chainsaws for different...
Yeah, we use different
Like-
bars. Yeah, for different parts of the chainsaw process. You know, we use normal cutting bars for blocking out the big
Right.
chunks, and then we have carving bars with quite a fine tip on the end, so we can actually work on the tip with the chainsaw.
Do you ever get a bit like you feel like you want to be like Banksy and just nip into the woods sometime and just, you know, or into the town
All the
centre?
time.
All the time.
Yes.
Just carve something
All the
onto a
time.
tree.
Yeah. I'm looking at battery chainsaws now for that reason.
Oh, right.
A bit quieter, you might get away with the odd gorilla carving. But no, obviously you have to get permission.
Yeah, of course.
But I did start with some woodland commissions for Kent Wildlife Trust years ago, and they gave me the opportunity to create a sculpture trail. And it's lovely to get out actually in the woods and actually put things where people are almost going to trip over them, you know, in the woods. It's lovely.
So you must also have a great respect for trees themselves, the growing plants.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do tree surgery.
No.
I'd rather the tree was standing, but
Yeah.
obviously if it's come down for a particular reason, that's the bit of wood I want. You know. So.
Do you have a favourite piece of a favourite timber that you like to work with?
Oak is probably my choice, just because of the longevity of it.
Right.
You know, it can be left outside and it'll be here for beyond my lifetime.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
you know, your art will be around long after you've gone. Hopefully, you know.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, that's why I like the harder woods. You
Yeah.
know, for that reason, I like to hope, you know, that people are going to have enjoy the sculptures for a long time. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
It's been brilliant talking
No,
to you,
pleasure.
Steve.
Thank you.
And you know, well, more power to your elbow. We'll let you get
Thanks for
back to your
stopping by. Yeah,
wonderful
no, it's
thing.
cool.
We're going to stay live for a bit longer. Can we just watch a little bit of you carving?
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Wonderful.
So the lovely Nigel is operating our camera. Is going to zoom in on you as you do
I'll
your
get on
thing.
with it.
Yeah,
Nice
that's it.
one.
Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you, Steve.
And
Thank
you.
you so much.
Cheers.
There we go. So yeah, let's watch Steve go into operation here and do his work. It is quite noisy, but we can reduce the distortion. These are amazing, aren't they, Julia?
They are fantastic. I mean, some really magical looking pieces here
Of course,
from both fellows.
I didn't ask him how long it takes, but judging by this particular thing, I imagine that he'll be here for the day and he'll end up with a thing. Well, here he goes, revving up his petrol-driven chainsaw. There is a bar in the way that's holding his sort of gazebo tent thing up, but you can just see there that, I mean, it is like he's doing brush strokes, which is absolutely stunning. Look at that.
You see him carefully choosing where to put them. We've got Les going at it as well.
Les on the other side has started up as well. This is the chainsaw wizard.
All the crowds are coming back to watch again. They seemed a bit disappointed when they stopped, but
absolutely. So Les, somewhere out there, is doing his thing. Oh, he's also stopped, but never mind. There we go. Well, I have to say that's been absolutely fantastic. We'll just give Les a few minutes of doing that, and we'll say goodbye. We'll leave you with a few minutes of, not Les, of Steve rather, doing his stuff, and we'll see you when we go live shortly.